Welcome everybody to another episode of the Trisbrina Show. And today we've got some special moves that we want to show you, teach you. We're actually going to get up and move a little bit. We're going to talk with you about how do we boost these cells in the body, these immune boosting cells known as T cells. They are within our body. We have these little warriors that they've been with us since our birth, and they've been cultivated for situations like this, what we're going through. And they have the capacity, if we give them the right training, and I don't know if you saw the picture that we posted earlier of us with our little swords and our shields. There's some cool stuff that these immune cells do, and there's ways to boost them and give them the power to do their job, and that's what's going down.
So in this video, we're going to actually show you at least 2 moves that are going to boost your body's ability to produce these T cell warriors. And studies show that within 2 hours after doing some of these, your T cell count is higher. Your
B cells,
B cells.
It's in your body's immune system. You have different types of cells. They're white blood cells, and they're called natural killers. You have T cells, you have B cells. They work in concert together to support the overall immune system. Some of them, they kind of defend and they quarantine cells that are like naughty cells, while others can come in and clean them out. And some, they get on top of the bad guy and they kind of break down the barrier so that it can be dissolved. And we're going to talk about the energy behind this and how you can feel inside your body temple that it's love and it's light doing the work. It's nothing like a battle within you.
Right. Because I was telling Tristan earlier, there's this analogy of black dog, white dog.
Right.
Now, before I continue, I want to say I love all dogs, regardless of color, right? Winston's right here. It's mostly black, a little white. But we say black dog, meaning like a darkness, what you don't want to feed, and white, meaning what you do want to feed. So there's actually 2 things going on. There's things that we can do and think and ways that we can move that feed the white dog, which is absolutely what we want to do. And then there's these subtle things that are happening. I see it happening to everyone in society. I see it happening in myself. It's actually extremely contagious, is this overfeeding of the black dog. And what I mean by that is, in all these attempts to boost the immune system that we're going to get into, and we're going to show you very specific ways to do that a little later on, at the same time that you're doing that, if you're worried about your immune system, if you're concerned, if you're looping, if you aren't sleeping, if you're stressed out, that's actually feeding the black dog, right? And at the same time, we're wanting the white dog to win, right? We want the T cells to win, the immune system to win. So what we're going to talk about today is both sides, how we can take that energy and those thoughts and that worry and concern, and how we can shift it to positivity. I actually saw a really cute thing online, and I wanted to share it with you in case you didn't see it, because it's such a simple thing. You could even say, oh, whatever, right? But sometimes it's that, oh, whatever thing that can really be a needle mover. And it said, can we assign to ourselves and attach a specific task with a specific meaning, therefore empowering ourselves? So right now, we're all washing our hands like crazy, right? We were using hand sanitizer, but there is no more. It's all gone. So how many times a day are we washing our hands? And they said to sing happy birthday twice. Well, what if we took that
that length of time? I thought that was to boost the immune system while they were doing that. That's where my mind goes. Happy birthday to you. We're feeling the joy as I wash my little hands. Happy birthday to you. I was boosting my immune system. I didn't know it was a timing thing.
Right. But most people are washing their hands like, I don't want to catch the Rona. I don't want to be, people are contagious, or I don't want to give it to people. I'm so scared. This is, right. Well, what if we take those times that we're all washing our hands, let's say 8 times a day. Right? Or even 4 times a day. What if we say for that 30 seconds that we attach to that, link to that in our brain, neuroplasticity, neurolink, that's a time of gratitude. And instead of happy birthday, say affirmations. Today, Tristan was laughing because I was saying, well, I'll do a combo. I'll sing happy birthday, but I'll change the lyrics. Oh, I am strong. Oh, I am healthy. My immune system is boosted and I am so strong. Right? So if we just like take those moments of fear and attach something more positive, and it can seem silly, but cumulatively think about that. Think about that in your life. And then just if your family took all those times each day to say, I am healthy, I am strong, I'm vibrant, I radiate that, I'm grateful for my health, I always make the right decisions, things are going my way, everything is a gift from God, I feel the love and I serve that. What if we could all do that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day, and then the 4 or 5 people in your house do that, and then everyone in your neighborhood does that? We can make a huge change in what's happening instead of feeding the fear. And when we feed the fear, we feed depleting the immune system. We're actually taking away from our ability to be healthy. We're depleting the body's natural response to be able to be strong and vibrant. Okay, preach. I'll get off the soapbox for a second.
Don't. We love your soapbox. It's one of the things everybody knows, that stress diminishes the immune response. Mm-hmm. It weakens you. We know this, but I don't know about you, but I think everything's an opportunity to reframe. Sabrina talks about it like reframe at the speed of God, which means to be so in your alignment with Source, with love, with God.
And have such faith.
And that faith is your anchor, that when you catch the looping thought, you quickly reframe, you return to the truth. But the only way to know the truth is to access it through your own conscious awareness. That's what Satori means. It's someone who is connected to that truth. It's an awakening of knowing at your deepest root level, I am strong. I am built from, breathed by this creative life force energy, this source force, this God force. I'm made from that. And in that consciousness, you know that inbuilt inside you are all the mechanisms for you to survive and thrive, right? This immune system that is a God-given gift. It's only compromised when we're naughty, when we are in the stress, in the worry, putting the fuel, if you will, the food that's not healthy. It's hard for this little body temple to break down and process and digest. It's compromised when you're not giving it enough sleep. Mm-hmm. But when you're worrying and you're fearing, you are absolutely, you're compromising that God-given ability to be resilient. Right. So we want to bring Satori to you.
And it's especially important for, those of us who are 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, because as the body so gracefully and beautifully matures, the immune system isn't as responsive as quickly. And so we have to consciously choose to do things to re-energize it, right? Yep. Exercise, right? Everybody knows that exercise, sweating, positivity, good night's sleep, and all those things are challenging when we're watching the news. Hey, I'm right there. I have not slept well for many nights, and I've seen myself. I was making an acronym of Corona earlier, and I was like compulsive, obsessive, repetitive on negative assumptions. So I'm making up stories. I'm making up stories like, what if something happens to Winston and Bentley while this shutdown is in effect and the vets won't let us go in there? They come and get the dog from the car, and I promised both of them I would be there with them for whatever. And they're getting older, and what happens? And what happens if something to my parents and they go to the hospital and I'm not allowed to visit them? And what happens if we totally run out of money and we're losing it? Like, it just goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop. It's just a bunch of stories. But I'm feeding the black dog with those stories. I'm stressing myself out. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my digestion. It puts stress on the relationships because everything is on edge, and then we're like locked in the house like we're on an episode of Big Brother. But this is an amazing time because, what do they say? It's where the rubber meets the road, and you get to really see, where am I? Who am I? What am I going to do with this incredible opportunity? What am I going to do with this chaos, right? So within chaos, such creativity can be born. You can be reborn with a whole new identity. What do you want to do with your life? Who do you want to be? What do you want to serve? What do you want to think? To me, I'm seeing this incredible double dip ice cream cone, right? I can look at it and go, wow, such opportunities in here to jump into the unknown or to end things that I want to end, right? Because chaos allows you to go, you know what? That relationship wasn't so good. That habit wasn't so good. I didn't really like doing that anyway. So it's a great time for reflection. It's all in how we reframe it. Do we reframe it in alignment with God or in alignment with fear?
And we think that the thought process behind how we approach everything, including Qigong and energy work, is the starting point, right? Thoughts become things. Our energy expands. So, like you said, the perfect analogy, if you're washing your hands from fear, it's very different, isn't it? If you're doing your practices because you're afraid you're going to get hurt, you're putting that out. I remember years ago when I was a bodyguard, and when I was first starting, I used to be very concerned because my job was to protect this person I was bodyguarding. And so I immediately went on to high alert. I was a very good martial artist. I knew how to fight. I knew how to take out the bad guy. Now I'm looking for bad guys. And my awareness of looking for the bad guys went up. And not that that's not needed, but there's a certain perspective that you need to have
like
when you're doing. Yeah, and I realized what was happening was I was literally attracting negative energy to my job and to me and to the person that I was bodyguarding because of my thought process. And I've seen this a few times in my life, being a protector. So that's one way that I've seen it show up in my life, is I call that in. So if I'm also trying to protect myself from, the CV and all that, where am I coming from? And this is really good for you to check in on that for a minute and go, yeah, am I using this as an opportunity to empower my health and my family? Or am I using this as an opportunity to quarantine from a place of fear? We think social distancing is a really good idea to minimize the wave of this effect. What's up?
You talk over there.
Why? Oh, we're social distancing. I'm slow. I'm so used to just, that felt really weird. And have you probably felt that in your life? Like, it's weird just to be at home. Some people are going stir crazy right now. Being at home, they're not used to this. And yet it's a time, it's a catalyst.
I hear people are having wine tours. They go from their living room to their kitchen to their dining room, out to their back porch and their bedroom. That's their wine tour.
Some people, depending on how long the rationing goes, might gain a little extra weight because they're not getting to move as much. It's not that they can't. I mean, you can walk up and down your stairs, you can run around, you can do your Qigong, you can get some cans.
You can do the wacky workouts.
You can work out with us on the weekends in our dojo.
And don't eat your 2-week supply over the weekend because you're bored.
Yeah, save up. So just how we're approaching everything is really my main point there. Yeah. Then I think it's important to look at what can we do to give these internal warriors the energy and the environment that they need so they can do their job. So we're going to teach you a couple moves today. They're very easy to do, and they're going to help not only stimulate these lymphocytes and monocytes, the T cells, the B cells, the natural killer cells, basically your white blood cells, your immune system, which is comprised of that. It's going to also help the lymphatic system, which is the system that cleanses and helps those white blood cells do their job. It's going to strengthen the body, and it's going to strengthen the mind, because the postures are empowering. They are like warrior positions. And if you want to think about these cells inside that are fighters, if you will, I see them as like samurais. But the word samurai means those who serve. So they're inside you, coming from a place of service. They're serving this body temple manifestation that the soul is using to give this soul, this is my perspective, maybe you'll join me in it, it's giving your soul the vehicle, the temple, a long life so that you can do the work that you came here to do.
It's your team.
And your team is inside doing its job, okay? So you're going to do this to help the team, but then people might say, well, I don't want to feel like I have killer cells inside me that are attackers. And that's true. We don't see it as an attack. You see, I'll give you an analogy of a martial artist. Martial artists were also healers, and they were masters of themselves. They were meditators, right? I'm talking about the ancient path of martial art. It's called Budo. And so somebody who...
Thank you guys for all the love bombs, by the way.
Yeah.
We all need that right now.
The martial artist became... Have you heard the saying, I'm a lover, not a fighter? They evolved their consciousness through fighting into peace. So they went from being the fighter protector into the peaceful warrior. And so this internal cultivation of energy and chi expanded their consciousness. So they became healers and lovers and leaders. So if they were to hit, they didn't do it from anger or fear. They did it from love.
Like this, I'll show you.
Whack! From love.
Love you.
Love you. So if you can see love inside you going whack, whack, whack-a-mole, 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 mump, 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 the Pac-Man, then what you can see is that it's all coming from a place of protection and love. And I have one more piece to that, and then I want you to teach the chest full body movement. And that is this. We talk about this in Qigong when we do our 5-day energy expansion. If you have energy that gets stifled, stagnant, or blocked, people say, well, that's negative energy. I want that bad energy out of me. And we say, don't think about it like that, because then you'll think you're putting bad energy into your space or into where others. It's not that the energy is ever bad. It's that it gets misaligned. It gets out of alignment with love. And that's what cells that are maladaptive, viruses and bacteria, they are still essentially created from the same elements and materials that God Force uses to create everything. They're just out of alignment with the harmony and flow of love. And so these cells inside your body, all they're doing is they're helping to neutralize and recycle these other cells back into the energy of love. If you could start to see it like that, you would feel so supercharged and empowered inside you that you're not infected. You are supercharged, and your internal system, your internal matrix is love force, converting everything back into alignment with love.
Right, so, thank you. When I'm trying to balance, right, being dancing for so many years and teaching fitness, when I'm trying to balance, let's say on one leg, the lack of balance is not an enemy, right? The falling down is not an enemy. My focus is on alignment and balance, and that's all. Are there things that make me waver? Oh, I'm a little wobbly. Wobbly's not an enemy. I'm off balance is not an enemy. I just keep the focus on balance, and I think that's a really good analogy right now. Just to keep the focus on love, gratitude, health, positivity. Of course, wash your hands, don't touch your face, blah, blah, blah. Of course, but not from fear, from awareness and love. I am strong. I am strong and I am grateful. I'm doing my part. I'm grateful for help. Much better.
I like it. Okay, the camera's we're gonna move things around a little bit. You're invited to join in. We're using our fancy schmancy camera, so it will kind of go in and out of focus. Not much. Well, actually, I could change that.
It's okay, Bob.
We don't care. Okay. So Sabrina's gonna show you and guide you through a full body breath. So this is called full body breathing. The reason that we love it and we're sharing it today is breath is like the first thing that you want to do to infuse yourself with more chi, with more life force. And it's also it's the pump that helps the lymphatic system to work better. So if you ever work with someone who does lymph drainage or works with your lymphatic system, they're going to work with your breath simultaneously, and they'll usually have you do breath work first. So we want you to do this first so that it will help the next technique.
Okay, so the full body breath, what I love about it is, yes, it gives the brain an intention and a place to focus. When you give your brain a focus, it can't go elsewhere, right? If you put the dog in the dog bed, it can't run around the house, right? So there's a focus on intention. Also, we're really going to focus on letting the lungs fill up as big as they can be, and then we're going to focus on not just emptying them, but squeezing out all of the extra. Because so many times when we inhale and exhale, we leave those bottom lobes of the lungs with residue air. And sometimes you can even hear it, like when someone's coughing, or you can hear it if you go like, there's that extra. So we breathe at the top and we don't get rid of that air at the bottom. And because of a lot of the contagious things that are going around, and just because of life, it is good to breathe in fully and exhale fully. So there'll be some contraction of the body forward, and the reason for that is the compression of the body forward. We're trying to squeeze, almost like you squeeze a little toy and it goes poof to shoot something. We're trying to get all of that air out. So if we just go from a sitting position, which should be super easy, we don't need to make a big deal out of it. We're going to arch back slightly as we inhale, and then we're going to exhale as we contract in. So it's going to go like this. It's going to go. And I like that you're sitting, because if you don't normally breathe deep, you could say, oh, I'm a little lightheaded. So it's good that you're sitting. Don't overdo. You'll get used to it. If you get lightheaded, do less. So breathing. And you can even bring your elbows sort of together. Because in that is a contraction. I'm going to stand up so you can see me a little bit better. And here we go.
See the expansion through the ribs.
And the exhale is a. Think if you're like, what is she doing? Try to cough. Sneeze. Chew! Or go, right? You feel that extra. So that's what we're doing. Big, 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 big through the nose. I'm using the mouth.
And like Sabrina said, if you feel lightheaded at all, don't overdo it. Just do a couple.
Mm-hmm. You can extend your fingers as you open and then make fists as you close if you want, if that helps you to visualize the compression. I also tuck my tailbone a little bit, so everything is open, 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 slight arch.
You're like a lion. Rawr. Awesome. So that's a full body breath.
Those of you who are here, if you did that, do you feel how in these lower lobes, I feel really clean? I feel like I did the happy birthday wash all the way down there. I really do. I feel a depth, because throughout the day, especially when times are stressed, I think we're breathing very shallow, and that's not good, right? We really need to empty the lungs often.
Also, when you're expanding and moving this area and freeing the solar plexus like that, you're calming, well, you're stimulating and calming a nerve that runs through your body. It's called the vagus nerve, okay? And so this stimulates it. When you sit down after doing what Sabrina just showed you, then just breathe right around here, around your solar plexus or lower in your tummy.
So,
sorry, right here. So the vagus nerve, it's the longest nerve in your body from the brain all the way down through the diaphragm. And there's a technique that you could naturally move into right now that's going to move you from stress quickly into ease and rest. So when someone's stressed out, they're in a part of the nervous system called the sympathetic nervous system. And that's what's affecting your immune system as well, that stress.
Yeah.
This breathing activates this whole central area in the body. And there's a nerve cluster. There's nerve clusters here. There's lymphatic ducts here. And the vagus nerve runs right through the diaphragm on both sides. And so after you've done this expansion and contraction that Sabrina just showed you, then if you just sit and gently place your hand here and tone.
Go higher.
I'm sorry, you guys can't see that. Just tone with your breath right here. Slow it down.
Like tap into, connect to. That's what we mean by tone.
I'm going to bring the chair up so you can see better. And what you're doing as the diaphragm is moving with this slow, deep, gentle breath is it's toning. So think of the nerves moving through the diaphragm. They're gently being massaged and toned. And as those nerves are being toned, they're shifting you into what's known as the parasympathetic, as I just said, the rest, digest, ease, and flow state. That is what you want to create the internal environment for the immune system to go, yes.
For the T cells.
T cells, everything, the immune boosters are like, they're ready to rock and roll. So
you could see that with every breath, just imagine all these little cells with their shields and their swords running to the front line to protect you.
This is not cranial sacral breathing, although they may incorporate that in their training, like the gentle, soft in the solar plex area breath, just a gentle rise and a fall, and thinking of the diaphragm as a massaging tool for that nerve, the vagus nerve. Okay, so this is why when someone starts to do breath work, they might yawn. Because they're going into the parasympathetic system. This is really, really healthy for you. Okay, it's so simple. So do the full body breath that Sabrina showed you a few times. Sit down and then tone, vagus nerve tone. Cool? All right. Now, when you've done that, you kind of can just chill and call it a day. But if you want to go ahead and boost the warrior in you even more and feel that internal strength, I'm going to give you one that's going to also help with your lungs and your mindset. So this is a bow and arrow. It's a variant on one that we teach in the flow form. And it's got a nice flow to it.
By the way, we've had the orientation for our flow form certification, and it officially kicks off on Wednesday the 25th. And we just added a 5-pay, and then people were saying, can you help us out more? So there is an 8-pay available if you want to go through the certification with us. Email us. That's not even on the page, but I can send the info to you.
Yeah, with everything that's going on, we've got a little enrollment extension happening. So you can get started right away, start going through the flow form. Like Sabrina said, the orientation was last night. That's already posted in our academy, and there's a private group that you'll be a part of. And then over about 6 weeks, we're going to really boost your immune system and certify you, if that interests you, to share these arts with others, which is a beautiful thing in this time.
And take a deep dive into your own health.
Yeah, so that's cool. We've got an 8-pay. That should make it really doable for everybody.
Yep.
Okay, satorymethod.com/certification is how you get enrolled. So this technique, I always start everything, and I know I'm going to be a little blurry, but from opening my heart center. This stance is with the feet together and the palms open like this is called Wuji. It's a position of just being totally present. So my feet are together, my arms are open, and I'm just checking in. I'm bringing my conscious awareness inside my body, and I'm putting my mind into what's called the meridians, the channels. And there's this internal channel from the center of the brain down through the body into the root. Okay, so it's like an elevator of consciousness settling and sinking. This is how you feel rooted and grounded. Now, this particular stance is called a horse stance. So we're going to bring the camera down a little bit so you can see some more. I know I'll be blurry for a moment. I'm dropping like this and pushing the knees out. Okay?
And just however wide is comfortable for you.
Now, what you're doing with this hand is you're pushing away, you're fending off that which isn't needed, right? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. So this practice with me, this hand is like, stop, do not come any closer. Social distance, keep your social distance. So I'm warding off illness. And I'm flexing my wrist and I'm just pressing. Okay? You could do it as a punch. You could do it as like, if you know martial arts, you could do like spear fingers, different techniques, or just a straight palm. Okay? So this arm's pressing here. And this arm, yeah, that's cool, is focusing now. And we're going to pull in and watch. This comes up and it's a fist and it's power. It's a power posture and it's strong. I don't know if you've ever heard of, yeah, it's fine that it's on. Amy Cuddy's work, power postures, certain postures that stimulate and boost your immune system as well. This is a power posture. So you're holding it, you're in horse stance, and you feel that I am strong, I am resilient. And you just like that. But what you're also doing is opening up the lung line here. Okay? Now we're going to float our arms down and bring them in. And as they come in, this one's going to create the fist, and this one's going to ward off. So try it on this side now. Push that arm out. Pull this one in and feel the power through the lung line. I am strong. I am powerful. I am resilient. I am able. Whatever your mantra is. And let that internalize into your cells. And see those samurai warrior white blood cells in your body going, yeah, we got this, man. We got you. Right? Inside. That's the power. So from here, the arms will flow down. They'll come in here. This one hand in the back is going to pull back. Try that. Just flow and drop as you do it. Feel the warrior root. Meanwhile, this arm goes, it pushes out. Lung line goes, strong. Hear us roar. It comes up. This one comes in and just presses. So that's its job. It comes in, it goes back away, talk to the hand. This one goes, and they meet together at the end. They go, shoo, you drop. Try that from here. Feel the lung line, shoo, and now take a nice strong breath, let it out. Let the arms float. This one's going to come in. They both come in for a moment. This one keeps coming. This one pushes out. Shoo. It's coming in. Shoo. Take a breath. Feel this open. Let it float. Shoo. One. Let's do a couple more. Pulls in. This one pushes out. Shoo. Last one. Here we go. Shoo. I am strong. Then you bring your feet together and your hands come up. Go like this. And this closes your session. And you had Sabrina teach you the other moves so you could put them all together. That full body breath that she showed you. You could go into warrior. Float. Float. One more. Come to center one time and have a seat. Do your toning breath work. Cool? If that doesn't get you feeling strong and empowered, I'm sweating from doing just a few. I love that move. So good to stick. You can feel your lungs and your breath and your internal warriors. Yes.
I couldn't figure out what that word was, but it's autofocus backwards. So when you're doing something like this, if you're new to it, just everything is always for you at your own pace to the degree that you can do it, whether it's sitting or standing with a vigorous breath or a softer breath.
Always at your level. Cool? All right, was that fun? We love doing these. I love this stuff. My whole little body just goes crazy.
So far we've discussed that every time you wash your hands, you have linked that to and associated that with a time of gratitude for your health, right? You can think of it as a like prayer time, mindfulness time. We've had deep body breathing, full body breathing to cleanse the breath and squeeze the lungs.
And the vagus nerve toning, which you do after your power postures. Right now. And everything slows down, puts you into the relaxation response. And remember, every corresponding thought, feeling has a corresponding effect in the body. So your body now, in this more relaxed, settled state, feeds the mind. And the mind shifts, and they're in harmony together.
Yeah. During this this time, with there being so much change, I actually do a lot of checks within myself. I'm constantly reframing because the reason that I'm so devoted to God and so devoted to love is because when I'm not, I could have a lot of anxiety. Like the opposite of that is unbearable. It's not an escape. I have to choose the truth because the false is too painful. And I have to say, a lot of times I seek expansion and I ask for change. And I say, I'm so excited about what the future will bring. I'm so excited for what love is going to bring my way. I'm so excited for expansion. I'm so excited to see what is next. These are some of the things that I say in the morning. I always make the right decisions. Things always work out for me, right? That's my path. That's my trust, and that's my faith. And then here comes the coronavirus, and it's so easy to forget all of that. Whoa, this is all bad, right? And I'm trying to step into, I do not yet fully understand the opportunity and the circumstances that this particular situation is giving to me in particular. This is all for me. It's affecting everyone, but I have to accept it as this is all for me. What does this situation and this lockdown and this fear of other people or this need to protect other people or worried about money, all of these things, how can that help me grow? And it's definitely a catalyst for change and expansion. Because if right now I can, and maybe you want to too, it's a time to reflect. Like, because what are we all afraid of, right? We're afraid of dying. We're afraid of being sick. We're afraid that people we love will die ultimately. Yeah. So it has me reflecting on how do I spend the moments of my life to make each one valuable. What am I doing? How am I filling my days? And is there something that you've wanted to do as a retirement career, as a side swag? Is there a passion that you wanted to turn into something else? Is there something you've always thought, well, if I ever had the time, I'd love to learn to do that? This is an invitation for that maybe, right? It isn't just about watching people like, oh, I've watched all the Netflix. What am I going to do? And I was thinking today, I'm in a house. I have heat, and I have air, and I have running water, and I have internet. What am I complaining about?
I have internet. That's a new thing. We need right? Internet to connect with you guys.
We have so much. I have a car. I have gas. There's a lot of situations that don't seem positive, but what inside of that is an invitation to open up into more? And I feel it. I feel it strong. I feel the part of me that hesitates to lead really being like pushed out the door, like, come on, Sabrina, you know better. Come on, Sabrina, people need to step up. You know what to say. You go say it. Help those people that want to do that. Why can't you go and help them? And so I love that it's calling out the hero in all of us. The way that people, we were on a call with a couple hundred people yesterday that are all sort of small business owners, and it was so touching. Everyone was saying, here's how I can help you, and here's what I need. People were saying, I'm in San Diego. If you have anybody that has a dog, I'll go walk them. If you know any seniors, I'll go shop for them. Someone else says, I work for a company, we have a lot of masks, how can I? It was so beautiful to see that loving, giving kindness in a time that the fearful mind says, hoard, hold tight. Like the whole toilet paper thing, what the hell, right? Like, it's completely illogical. And yet, when you see somebody else buying 64 rolls, you kind of feel like you should get some too. So I just wanted to add that to feeding the white dog.
That's so good. So she saw an interesting quote. Our fathers and grandfathers were asked to fight in wars. We're asked to stay home and stay in our homes for the benefit of all. I think we can handle it.
Exactly. So true. Thank you for writing that. I think that we're all confronted with our own demons. There's no demon outside of the ones inside of my own head. And I'm getting to see those. And they're not demons. They're just little fears. And I'm getting to grow so much. Who would have thought we could sit in our house quarantined and grow so much as souls? Really call forth, because we can distract ourselves from looking inward. And this is a time that we can really do that.
Yes. So we will continue these broadcasts to stay connected. You're all part of the family here. This is one big Satori family. We've got trainings going on with deeper dives. You're invited into them. We'll probably open the doors to our dojo in the near future. We only normally do that 2 times a year because it's a lot of energy goes into doing that whole process. But we think right now is a time that people would love, because they can't go to their gyms or their yoga classes or wherever they're used to going. So we're going to, in the near future, open the doors up. So if that's something you've been looking for, there'll be an opportunity to come into our life force.
Send us an email.
You could do that as well, and you can come in and train with us on a regular basis. The certification is an incredible way to work more closely with us and be part of the family. There's some amazing teachers in Satori Method that go through that training, and they're in a special group where they support each other, and then we're working directly with you on video.
Yep.
Not just like this, we can work and see you. So that's something that we do. And
I actually think that that's probably the deepest as far as taking your health to the next level and having this intimate time with us. The Qigong certification is so beautiful.
It is.
The way that during those live sessions we can all see
probably
each
one
other.
of the deepest
And
things we've offered.
it's like this forever connection and understanding of the power of love and the power of energy that doesn't make sense that you can have that through an online course, but it's what happens.
It's crazy cool. And then for those of you who have been wanting to do more of what we're doing, broadcast, go live, because of the situation right now, we're seeing that that's a big need, and people are looking for, how do I do that?
Yeah.
We actually teach that, so we have something called Momentum. So just kind of be a lookout in your inbox. We're going to do our best to just open doors up, create very affordable ways for our community to do things, work with us, and expand.
Because people are reaching out to us that are like, I was teaching, I had a martial arts school and now it's closed. I have this, I don't know how to live stream. And I don't think things are ever going to go back to the way they were, because once you have experienced the power of reaching, so let's say my morning dance fitness class, I can only fit 23 in the room. But if I take that online, like we have so many of the dojo classes, you can reach thousands because there's no limit to the size of the room. So we're going to do a call out, and anyone that wants our help, especially right now, we're going to try to make a really cool way. We've even talked about, and here I am talking about the cake when I'm not supposed to.
You're in trouble.
We might do a 3-day go live and thrive and just completely free, help people know how we go live, what we do before, what we do during, and what we do after, so that they can keep monetizing their passion. We don't know how long this is going to last. Some people are saying July.
Very cool. Okay, sweet friends, thanks for joining us today. It was totally impromptu. Probably the emails help. We'll keep showing up and shining. And
show up and shine.
Show up and shine. Step up and lead and love.
And thank you. Your comments mean so much to us. We
They're
go
so
back
beautiful.
and read all of them afterwards, even if you're catching this on a replay or if you're watching a replay from a website, because we usually download the footage and send it out. We feel you and we thank you.
Much love. Bye. Oh, and go do your moves. See you soon.